Surveillance footage is very important for investigations, and many times it solves the whole case or makes it easier for the police to solve. But sometimes the footage makes the case even more complex to solve. Today I'm sharing with you another 5 mysterious cases with unsolved surveillance footage. But before proceeding, I warn you, number 3 is very disturbing. The disappearance of Timothy J Pitzen. 6-year-old Timothy lived with his parents, James Pitzen and Amy Jo Marie Fry Pitzen, in Aura, Illinois at the time of his disappearance. He is their only child. Without telling anyone of her plans, Amy removed Timothy from his kindergarten class at Greenman Elementary School on the morning of May 11, 2011. From there, Amy and her 6-year-old son Timothy J Pitzen began their unexpected 3-day road trip. They were first spotted on camera in the Key Lime Cove Resort, where they spent the night. Meanwhile, Timothy's father, James Pitzen, had reported Timothy and Amy missing after he went to pick up Timothy from kindergarten and found his mother had taken him. He called her cellular phone numerous times, but got no answer. The next day, Amy and Timothy traveled to the Kalahari Water Park Resort in Wisconsin Dells. Surveillance from the water park the next morning shows them both waiting in line to check out. Shortly after, at around 1:30 p.m., Amy called several of her family members and friends and explained that she and Timothy were fine. Timothy could be heard in the background and sounded normal, saying only that he was hungry. This was the last time anyone heard him. At 7:25 p.m., Amy was sighted at a Family Dollar store in Winnebago, Illinois, where she purchased stationery, but this time, she was alone. She then traveled to the nearby Sullivan's Foods, where she alone was spotted on a security camera. Her final journey was around 11:15 p.m., where she checked into the Rockford Inn in Rockford, Illinois. The next day at 12:30 p.m., she was found dead by the inn's employees. She had taken her own life by ingesting an overdose of antihistamines, and she had slit her wrist. Amy left a note and 2 letters in the mail, one to her mother and one to a friend, saying that Timothy was fine and with people who cared about him. But she didn't name these people. One of her notes said that no one would ever find him. Her cell phone was missing. Other items were also missing, including Timothy's Spider-Man backpack, his toys and clothes, the clothes that Amy was wearing when she checked out at the Kalahari Resort, a tube of Crest toothpaste, and an iPass transponder. Amy's mother has said that she did suffer from depression, but she was not a crazy person and never acted bizarrely. Investigators believe Amy may have been planning Timothy's disappearance for months. As of now, Timothy is still missing, and the case remains unsolved. Trevor Deely. In 2000, 22-year-old Trevor Deely was employed at the Bank of Ireland Asset Management in Dublin. On the evening of December 7th, Trevor and his co-staffs attended the particular bank's Xmas party. However, they also visited a number of other areas before ultimately ending up in a nightclub. Around 3:30 a.m., Trevor left the club and walked to BIAM headquarters, where he had coffee with a coworker who was working late. Soon after, CCTV footage captured Trevor exiting BIAM. With no cab service because of an ongoing taxi strike, he had grabbed an umbrella from his workplace because there were heavy rains that night. The last sighting of Trevor was CCTV footage of him passing a security camera at a nearby Bank of Ireland ATM at 4:14 a.m. After that, he vanished without a trace. Even though footage placed Trevor at nearby Bagot Street Bridge, a search of the Grand Canal failed to find his body. Nevertheless, there were a few intriguing hints. When security camera footage initially captured Trevor at their workplace, an additional man has been seen standing up near the back again entrance. Yet this man was not observed in the video footage of Trevor exiting the financial institution. However, approximately 30 seconds after Trevor passed the ATM security camera, another man with an umbrella was seen walking by. Although the man standing outside BIAM headquarters and the man passing the ATM can be 2 different people, Neither have ever been identified, so no one knows if they have any connection to Trevor's disappearance. Despite a high-profile campaign to locate him, Trevor Deely is still missing. The murder of Nurin Jazlin Jazimin. Nurin lived in Wangsa Maju Township of Kuala Lumpur. On the evening of August 20th, 2007, she left her home to go to a nearby market and never returned home. According to witnesses, an unidentified man forced Nurin into a white van. On the morning of September 17th, a sports bag was found in front of a shop in Petaling, Utama. It contained the nude body of a young girl. She was soon identified as Nurin Jazlin Jazimin. Nurin had died before she was found, and bruises on her neck seemed to indicate strangulation. It appeared that Nurin had been kept alive for nearly a month to be abused and tortured. When investigators checked CCTV footage in the area, they saw a motorcycle dropping out the bag containing Nurin's body in the front of the shop, which was closed at the time. While doing so, the man was speaking on his cell phone, but unfortunately, the image was too blurry to make out his face or the license plate on the motorcycle. 1 hour later, the CCTV showed a woman loitering the same area before she was picked up by 3 men in a van. Once again, the footage was too blurry to obtain any useful information. However, none of the featured individuals seemed to acknowledge the bag on the ground, suggesting that they may have been involved in Nurin's death. Sadly, this case remains unsolved. The disappearance of Steven Koecher. In April 2009, Steven Koecher quit his job in Salt Lake City and moved up to St. George, Utah. After spending several months struggling to find a job, Steven abruptly left St. George on December 12, 2009. The following day, he telephoned 2 of his friends and claimed that he was in Las Vegas. Steven never offered any explanation for his trip, but his family believes that he may have been looking for a job. These phone calls were the last time anyone ever heard from Steven before he mysteriously vanished without a trace. His abandoned car was located in a residential neighborhood in Henderson, Nevada, with wrapped Christmas presents that Steven had purchased for his family in the back of the vehicle. Investigators eventually uncovered some surveillance footage of Steven taken on December 14, 2009, from the camera at a residence in the Henderson neighborhood. The video showed Steven parking his car, crossing the street, walking down the sidewalk, and then disappearing out of frame. This was the last confirmed sighting of him. No one understands why Steven parked his vehicle in this upscale neighborhood, which seemed like an unlikely place for him to become the victim of a violent crime. His cell phone signal was picked up at various locations by a tower several miles away, but the signal died after 2 days. With his employment and financial difficulties, some people have speculated that Steven may have staged a disappearance to start a new life. However, there has been no trace of him for nearly 6 years. The disappearance of Kayelyn Louder. On the morning of September 27th, 30-year-old Kayelyn Louder called 911 claiming that someone had broken into her condo in Murray, Utah, and she believed the intruder was still in the house. She went on to say that she didn't see anyone, but had heard them talking. During the call, Louder yelled several times for the intruder to leave. Police investigated the report but found no evidence to suggest a break-in had occurred. Later that same day, Louder was caught on surveillance camera walking barefoot in the rain outside her condo with her dog. She appears to be having an animated conversation. Around 7 p.m., for an unknown reason, Louder began to run. She left her dog, phone, money, keys, and car behind. This was the last time she was seen alive. Louder's mother has said in a statement that she spoke to her daughter that day, and she seemed fine. Her cousin claims that she was cleaning her condo that day and was working on her resume as she had just been let go from her job as a social worker. Her family hired a private investigator to help the search for her. 2 months after her disappearance on November 30th, Louder's body was discovered in the Jordan River in Utah, 5 miles from her home. An autopsy was performed but could not determine how she had died. A toxicology report confirmed that there was no drug in her system. Louder's family say that they suspect foul play and do not believe the death was an accident, as she had no history of mental illness. However, investigators disagree because the 911 call she made on September 27th was not the first time she had made a false claim. The previous day, she had reported a fight at a wedding that didn't happen, which has led them to believe that she was showing delusional behavior. But no one really knows how Kayelyn Louder ended up in the river after she left her condo that day. If you found this mysterious, then please share this video and be sure to subscribe, because you really don't want to miss what is coming next. Thank you for watching.